TOZAN, also spelled as Dongshan, was a Chan Buddhist monk of 9th century China. He founded the Chaodong school, which was transmitted to Japan in the 13th century by Dogen and developed into the Soto school of Zen. TOZAN is also known for the poetic 5 ranks. At the age of 10, he was sent away from his home village to get trained at the monastery on nearby Wutai Mountain. At the age of 21, he went to Shaolin Monastery on Mount Song, where he took the complete monk's precepts as a bhiksha. Since his early life, he had utilized gatha, or small poems, in order to try better to understand and to expound the meaning of Chan principles for himself and others. One of the famous verses by him is, "Avoid seeking elsewhere, for that's far from the self. Now I travel alone, everywhere I meet it. Now it's exactly me, now I'm not it. It must thus be understood to merge with thusness." TOZAN died at the age of 63, having spent 42 years as a monk. His shrine, built in keeping with Buddhist tradition, was named the Stupa of Wisdom Awareness. According to one of the koans of his sect, TOZAN announced the end of his life several days before the event and used the opportunity to teach his students one final time. In response to their grief over the news of his impending death, he told them to create a delusion banquet. After a week of preparations, he took one bite of the meal and, telling the students not to make a great commotion over nothing, went to his room and died. Because of our mind, we always divide everything into opposite polarities. Delusion and enlightenment, night and day, birth and death, they are all one process, but the mind cannot conceive it. It is intrinsically incapable of conceiving of the oneness of life and death, of light and darkness. And even if somehow it can be proved logically that they are one, the greatest problem arises about delusion and enlightenment. Are they one? TOZAN shows that he is a great master by saying that they are one. The moment delusion disappears, enlightenment also disappears. It is not that delusion disappears and you remain enlightened. The very idea of remaining enlightened is part of delusion. They both remain together, or they go away together, leaving you alone, neither deluded nor enlightened, but just simple, ordinary, a nothingness, a nobody, a pure space. The Master TOZAN was weighing some flax in the storeroom. A monk came up to him and asked, "What is Buddha?" In Buddhism, that is the greatest question to be asked, just like what is truth? Or what is God? Because in Buddhism, God is not a concept. Buddha is God. No other God exists. Buddha is the highest reality, the highest peak. Nothing is beyond it. The truth, God, the absolute Brahma, whatsoever name you give to it, Buddha is that. So when a monk asks, "What is Buddha?" he is asking what is truth. What is Tao? What is Brahma? What is that one among the many? What is the basic reality? What is the very central core of existence? He is asking all that. TOZAN said, "This flax weighs 5 pounds. Absurd. Irrelevant. It seems to be completely pointless because the man was asking, what is Buddha? And this TOZAN seems to be a madman. He is not talking about Buddha at all. He has not answered the question at all, and yet he has answered. This is the paradox. If you start living this paradox, your life will become a symphony. It will become a higher and higher synthesis of all the opposites. In you, then, all opposites will dissolve. TOZAN said, "This flax weighs 5 pounds. One thing he said, that this very ordinary life is Buddha. This very ordinary life is truth. This very ordinary life is Brahma, is the kingdom of God. There is no other life except this. There is no that, only this exists. Hindus say, that exists. This is illusion," TOZAN said. "This is true. That is illusion. This very moment is truth. And don't ask for any extraordinary thing. Seekers always ask for something extraordinary, because ego feels fulfilled only when something extraordinary is given. You come to a master and you ask questions, and if he says such things you will think he is mad, or joking, or not a man worthy to be asked. You will simply escape. Why? Because he shatters your ego completely. You were asking Buddha. You were desiring Buddha. You would like to be a Buddha yourself. Hence the question. And this man says, "What nonsense you are asking. Not even worth answering. This flax weighs 5 pounds. This is more important than any Buddha. This moment, this flax, is the whole of existence. In this 5 pounds of flax is cantered the whole being of the world here and now." Don't go astray. Don't ask philosophical questions. Look at this moment. TOZAN did a wonderful thing. TOZAN is a Buddha. TOZAN weighing flax is Buddha weighing flax, and reality is one. TOZAN is Buddha, and the flax is also Buddha, and in that moment it weighed 5 pounds. That was the truth, the facticity of the moment. But if you are filled with philosophy, you will think this man is mad and you will go away. Look, superficially this man is mad, but deeply you cannot find a saner man than this TOZAN. Don't be too wise, otherwise you will miss the real wisdom. Look at this TOZAN without any prejudice, without any mind of your own. Simply look at the phenomenon. What is happening? A disciple monk asks, "What is Buddha?" And a Zen master lives in the moment. He is always here and now. He is always at home. Whenever you come, you will find him there. He is never absent from there. He remains in this moment. The trees, the sky, the sun, the rocks, the birds, the people, the whole world is concentrated in this moment. This moment is vast. It is not just a tick of your clock. This moment is infinite, because in this moment, everything is. Millions of stars, many new stars being born, many old stars going to die. This whole infinite expanse of time and space meets in this moment. So how to indicate this moment? And TOZAN was weighing flax. How to indicate this moment? How to bring this monk here and now? How to put his philosophic inquiry aside? How to shock him and awaken him to this moment, and in this moment. This is a shock, because he must have been inquiring about Buddha in his mind, thinking, what is the reality of a Buddha? What is truth? And he must have been expecting some profound answer, something very superb. This master is enlightened, so he must say something very valuable. He could never have expected that it was going to be such an ordinary thing, such an ordinary and absurd answer. He must have been shocked. In that shock you can be awake for a moment, a fraction of a moment. When you are shocked, thinking cannot continue. If the answer is anything relevant, thinking can continue, because that is what mind asks, relevancy. If something is said which is relevant to the question, thinking can continue. If something is said which is absolutely absurd, discontinuous, is not to the point at all, the mind cannot continue. Suddenly the mind is shocked and the continuity broken. Soon it will start again, because the mind will say, this is absurd. But the shock and the assertion of the mind that it is absurd are not simultaneous. There is a gap. In that gap, Satori is possible. In that gap you can be awakened, you can have a glimpse. It would have been wonderful if the opportunity could have been used. Wonderful is this man TOZAN, incomparable. You cannot find such a man anywhere else. And what a spontaneous answer. Not prefabricated, not in any way ready-made. Nobody had said that ever before, and there is no point in saying it now. Nobody has ever said, this flax weighs 5 pounds in answer to a question about Buddha. What is Buddha? TOZAN is spontaneous. He does not answer from the memory. Otherwise, he knows the scriptures. He was a great scholar before he became enlightened. He knows by heart and has chanted all Buddha's words. He has discussed philosophy for many years. He knows what the monk is asking. He knows what he is expecting, but he is simply spontaneous, weighing flax. Just try to imagine and see TOZAN weighing flax. In that moment, what could indicate more spontaneously the reality of the moment, the facticity of existence? He simply said, this flax weighs 5 pounds and finished. He doesn't say anything about Buddha. There is no need. This is Buddhahood. This being spontaneous is Buddhahood. This being true to the moment is Buddhahood. What he says is just part of it. What he leaves unsaid is the whole. If you awaken in that moment, you will see Buddha weighing flax, and the flax weighs 5 pounds. What is he indicating? He is not saying much, but he is showing much, and by not saying much, he is creating a possibility. You may, for a single moment, be aware of the whole existence that is there concentrated in this TOZAN. Whenever a Buddha happens in the world, the whole existence finds a center there. Then all the rivers fall in him, and all the mountains bow down to him, and all the stars move around him. Whenever there is an enlightened man, the whole existence converges on his being. He becomes the center. TOZAN weighing flax in that moment was the Buddha. The whole existence converging, flowing into TOZAN, and TOZAN weighing flax, and the flax weighed 5 pounds. This moment is so real. If you awaken, if you open your eyes, Satora is possible. TOZAN is spontaneous. He has no ready-made answers. He responds to the moment. Next time if you come to TOZAN, the same answer cannot be given, will not be given, because TOZAN may not be weighing, or may be weighing something else, or maybe even weighing flax, but the flax may not weigh 5 pounds. Next time the answer will be different. If you come again and again, each time the answer will be different. This is the difference between a scholar and a man of knowledge. A scholar has fixed answers. If you come, whenever you come, he has a ready-made answer for you. You ask, and he will give you the answer, and the answer will always be the same, and you will feel he is very consistent. He is. An enlightened man lives in the moment. You ask, he replies, but he has got no fixed replies. He is the reply. So whatsoever happens in that moment happens. He does not manipulate it. He does not think about it, about what you are asking. You simply ask, and his whole being responds. In this moment it happened that TOZAN was weighing flax, and in this moment it happened that the flax weighed 5 pounds, and when this monk asked, "What is Buddha?" in TOZAN's being 5 pounds was the reality. He was weighing. In TOZAN's being 5 pounds was the fact. He simply said, 5 pounds of flax. Looks absurd on the surface. If you go deeper, you find a relevancy which is not a logical relevancy, and you find a consistency which is not that of the mind, but of the being. Understand. Try to understand the difference. If next time you come and TOZAN is digging a hole in the garden and you ask, "What is Buddha?" he will give you the answer. He will say, "Look at this hole." He will say, "It is ready. Now the tree can be planted." Next time, if you come again, and if he is going for a walk with his walking stick, he may say, "This walking stick." Whatsoever is in the moment will be the reply, because a Buddha lives moment to moment, and if you start living moment to moment, you become a Buddha. This is the answer. Live moment to moment, and you become a Buddha. A Buddha is one who lives moment to moment, who does not live in the past, who does not live in the future, who lives here now. Buddhahood is a quality of being present here and now, and Buddhahood is not a goal. You need not wait. You can become just here and now. Talking, I am a Buddha, because only talk is happening. If only listening is happening there at the other end with you, you are a Buddha in listening. Try to catch a glimpse of the moment, this moment. This moment TOZAN is not weighing flax. TOZAN is talking to you. This moment you have not asked, "What is Buddha?" But the question is there whether you ask it or not. The question goes around and around in the mind. What is truth? What is Buddha? What is Tao? Whether you ask it or not, it is the question. You are the question. In this moment you can awake. You can look, you can shake the mind a little, create a discontinuity, and suddenly you understand. If you are also too intelligent, you will miss. Don't be too intelligent. Don't try to be too clever, because there is a wisdom which is attained by those who become fools. There is a wisdom which is attained by those who become like madmen. There is a wisdom which is attained only when you lose your mind. TOZAN is beautiful. If you can see, and if you can see that the answer is not absurd, you have seen it, you have understood it. But if the understanding remains intellectual, it will not be of much use. I have explained it to you, you have understood it, it is a question of a non-mental understanding. If it arises from your heart, if you feel it, not think it, if it touches your whole being, if it penetrates, is not just a verbal thing, not a philosophy, but becomes an experience, it will transform you. I am talking about these stories just to shock you out of your mind, just to bring you down a little towards the heart, and if you are ready, then still further down towards the navel. The further down you go, the deeper you reach, and ultimately, depth and height are the same thing.